Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and we're going to see how close I can get you to my fingernails today. No, we're going to talk about series numbers when it pertains to paint labels. So on tubes, it's written on the front. On pans, it's on the paper wrap that often gets tossed aside when you're unwrapping a paper pan. Same with watercolor sticks, it's on the paper that's wrapped around it. Every paint has a series number. No matter the company, no matter if it's acrylic, oil, watercolor, or gouache, all of them have it. Today we're going to talk about what that means, because the paint series number does not equal the quality of the paint. All the paint series number does is make sure that you are being charged the correct amount for how this paint is made. So some paints are harder to make because it's harder to harvest the pigments or minerals to make the paint. And some paints are harder to make because it's the manufacturing process to make, and that makes it more expensive. So they typically range from either series 1 to series 4, and some go all the way up to 5 depending on their alphanumeric system. But 1 is always the least expensive. It's the most budget. It's the easiest for companies to produce. They stamp it series 1 to make sure they're not overcharging you for something that's really, really easy for them to make and produce. So when looking at Daniel Smith watercolors, here's my Prussian Green. You turn to the side, pass that one up. It's actually past the barcode. You will see it says series 1. So Prussian Green, not difficult for Daniel Smith to produce and make. And you'll find that within most companies, all Prussian Greens will pretty much be a 1, because it'll be consistent throughout, no matter what the color is. I want to show you different labels. So here is M grams, and they actually print their series on the very front. This is the Terra Rosa color, and this is a series 1. I hope you can see that. I hope it's not too washed out. Here's another one I want to show you. Here is Ultramarine Violet Deep. This is a series 3. So this is going to cost more than the Terra Rosa is, because this one is more expensive to manufacture and produce. So they're trying to make sure that when they stamp this series 3, that they're able to recoup the amount of time, money, and energy that went into producing this by charging us more. Here is Holbein's gouache in permanent white. If you flip it over to the other side, it is a series A. So series A is the most affordable, and they're doing a alphabet type series for their gouache. I have with me a core, and core is printed right here, and this is a series 4 paint. Uh-oh, I think my cat wants to join us. This is a series 4, and this is Cobalt Teal, and you will find within all paint companies that cobalts are more expensive. Hi, cat. Oh, there's a tail. They're more expensive to make. So the way they make cobalt is they use a sintering cobalt oxide, and they mix it with aluminum oxide at 1200 degrees Celsius. And those silicates, those aluminum silicates mixed with the cobalt, create this color. Now, this isn't an expensive pigment to harvest. It's just a very technically demanding process to create. So because of that, you will find that Cobalt Teal, Cobalt Blue, Cobalt Violet, Cobalt Green, Cobalt Blue Deep, Cobalt Blue Light, all the cobalts will be a series 4 or 5. They're all going to be more expensive. It is the process in which they make cobalt that makes it cost more, and that is why it's a higher number in the series. If you want authentic, traditionally made pigments, let's say you want your ultramarine made from lapis lazuli, which is the original stone you can purchase. You can purchase that blue stone. You can put it into a mortar and pestle, mix it with a little water, a little lye, a little gum arabic, some honey, and you can grind and make your own ultramarine paint from the lapis lazuli stone. That becomes incredibly expensive and would be considered a series 4 or 5 because it's harvesting this stone. The stone has to be mined, and traditionally those came from mines in Afghanistan. So sometimes it's where the pigment, it's how hard it is to get the pigment or mineral, and sometimes it's the process at which you create the pigment for the paint tube that makes it the most expensive. Now, eventually we'll get into the color codes and what some of that means, because some of these have more budget substitutes. If you don't want to buy the actual pigment, you can buy mixes that look like the pigment, and those will be a less number in this series. There'll be a series 1 versus a series 3. And we will get into that because that's a whole nother topic that takes a while to explain and involves color mixing, color theory, and hues versus pigments. So I hope this, my cat, I hope this sort of helps when you look at the series number on your tubes, why that is the way that is, and why there is such a price difference between something like titanium white and cobalt green. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.